Now we have a discussion about the Immersion Project presentation with Bloomberg Associates in the City of Bogotá. I want to introduce Xavier, Gonzalez, and Tatiana Mendoza. They will be followed by Gill, Hearn, Municipal Integrity Principal at Bloomberg Associates, and Giuliana Carducci. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. Let me introduce myself. I'm a data scientist from Columbia University. I also teach data science in the University of Buenos Aires, one of the largest universities in Latin America. And I'm really excited to be here presenting this amazing project that we did with the City of Bogotá, which is a tool that we implemented that visualizes data and turns data to information about the work sites that are carried on by the government of Bogotá within the City of Bogotá. But before I get into the tool, let me talk a little bit, let me back up a little bit, right? This is the fourth time that I participate in this amazing program, D4GX. This is the third time that I work with cities. And last year we presented another amazing project with the city of Milano. And this is the second time that I work with Bogotá. And one may wonder, what do these projects have in common, right? Because I think that the problems for cities are quite similar. So the solutions are similar as well. So in all these projects, we develop tools that take data, generally open data, and we build visualizations with that data and turn that data into relevant information. And in all these three projects, this relevant information is aimed for the citizens to navigate through it. And not only to citizens, but also to city authorities that by being informed with this information can take better decisions while they make policy. So let me go over there. So what do we do this year? We, as I said before, we develop a tool that visualizes the constructions, the work sites within the city that are carried on by the government. And this is supposed to be open to the public, so every citizen can be aware of what's going on in the city. And also important is that this tool reuses a code that was developed by the government of Buenos Aires, which developed this tool and opened the code for any other city in the world that wants to use it for the same, addressing the same problem. And a technical point is that it's built with AngularJS, which is a library of JavaScript, which is a widely used language to program websites. Let me show you the homepage of the tool. This is the homepage. We can see that there are 16 projects that we visualize it. And it involves a budget of 640 billion pesos colombianos, which is almost $200 million. So let me give you this to you, and I'm going to show you the tool live. So this is the home page. You can see at the very top some overall indicators like the budget, as I mentioned, the quantity of workers that are working in these projects. And mainly, the home screen shows you a map of Bogotá with the neighborhoods. And each color point is like a specific construction that is being there. In red, we can see the road infrastructure, like building an avenue or something like that. In blue, we can see the education constructions, like schools or kindergarten. And in green, we can see the parks. And also in light yellow, we can see the buildings that are being constructed by city offices. So imagine that a citizen lives in Bosa, which is a neighborhood in Bogotá. So he can click on the neighborhood and see what are the constructions that are taking place in his neighbors. So there are 2 constructions about transportation and 1 construction about schools. It's the construction of a kindergarten. So maybe who wants to see more about this construction, he can click on See More. And this screen shows you more pictures and an index with the key indicators, such as starting date, which is the office in the school that manages this construction, how long will it take, how much money is involved. And also, we prototype a feature for the citizen that if he wants to say something, if he sees something that is not right, or if it takes longer than it's expected, he can click on Send Feedback. And by filling this form, the citizen can provide comments to the administration. So additionally, we have other dimensions to aggregate the construction, for instance, by jurisdiction, which is we can separate by neighborhoods in the city of Bogotá, and by passing the mouse, of course, you see the picture and what is this construction about. Also, we can do it by investment, small constructions, medium infrastructure projects, or the largest one. Also, we can see by stage, for instance, if it's under a bidding process, or if the construction already started, or if the construction is ended. Finally, the tool provides a searching feature. We can search the infrastructure project by a keyword. For instance, we can use the word park. In Spanish, we write parque. And we can see that there are 3 parks being constructed in Bogotá, and we can see the same key indicators of each construction. To sum up, we think that this tool that was developed by the city government of Buenos Aires, and we implemented for the city of Bogotá by using their data, is a great tool to aim it to be used by the citizenship. The citizens can navigate through it, can be aware of what's going on. And also by doing that, we think that the citizen can act as controllers. If something is not wrong, if something is not right, if, for instance, all the constructions go to the same contractor, or if the constructions take longer than it's supposed to be, so they can provide feedback to the administration, and the administration can take corrective actions. We think it's a great tool to build a strong communication between the citizens and the government, and this increases the transparency, and we think it's a good tool. So I'm going to leave you to Tatiana Mendoza, who is from the Ombudsman office in Bogotá.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning to all. My name, thank you for this kind invitation. My name is Tatiana Mendoza. I am the designated oversight officer for public procurement at the Veeduría Distrital in Bogotá, Colombia. First, before I start, I want to thank Bloomberg Associates for giving me the opportunity to be here today. I also want to thank the members of the Bloomberg team who have worked very hard and believe in us to create this platform. So today I'm going to talk about Public Works Progress Tracker, an innovative platform that will improve citizen oversight in the city of Bogotá. First of all, we want to talk about a general context of Bogotá. Because of its nature and problematics, we decided to create an important tool to communicate with citizens. Bogotá is the capital city of Colombia. It has more than 7 million citizens. It's confirmed by 76 public agencies. And at this moment, there are more than 2,500 public works in execution. So that's why we wanted to create a tool to facilitate free access to public information about public works in execution monitors the execution of these projects and supports the strengthening of citizen oversight. So we want to talk about, we want to show the institutional arrangement of Bogotá and the role of the Veeduría Distrital in the city. The Veeduría Distrital is one of 3 control agencies in the city. It seeks to stop and mitigate administrative malfunctions and corruption risk in the city agencies. It's a preventive, independent preventive control agency in Bogotá. So having considered the nature of the Veeduría Distrital, we have the capacity to work hand in hand with citizens, and we can issue recommendations for all the 76 public agencies in the city. These public agencies are organized within 15 administrative sectors. The infrastructure projects were chosen for this pilot were taken from 6 administrative sectors, and these sectors are the most strategic for the mayor and the current administration. As you can see, these 6 sectors are public management, government, education, social integration, transportation, and culture, recreation, and sports. So why a public work progress tracker? We consider that it's very important for us to create this platform because in Bogotá, 86% of the population considers that more than half public officials are corrupt. Also, in the last years, there have been corruption scandals in road construction projects. So it's very important for us communicate with citizens. Additionally, public contracts information is dispersed on several platforms. So with this tool, we pull together all the available information about the infrastructure projects in execution. What are the main objectives of this platform? We consider that the main objectives are track open cities infrastructure projects in execution in the city and create a space when citizens can find complete, reliable, and updated information about the infrastructure projects in execution. So this platform combines information from 2 different platforms at a national level. And additionally, we need information from the public agencies about the advances on implementation, percentage in a certain period of time during the execution of the infrastructure projects. So these are the 3 sources of the information. Maybe this is the most important slide in this presentation because it shows which information will be available in this platform. So you can look the specific amount of the cost of the infrastructure projects. It will be possible to visualize alerts about a lack of achievement in a certain period of time during the execution of the infrastructure projects. Additionally, citizens can generate alerts when there is an evidence that there is no progress in the infrastructure projects in execution. You can find the number of the infrastructure projects per district, per stage, and per topic. And finally, you can find information about the specific details of the infrastructure projects in execution. The prototype includes 16 infrastructure works under 5 sectors, administrative sectors, and these sectors are the most strategic and important for the mayor, for the current administration, and of course the future administrations in the city. So you can see infrastructure projects in schools, kindergartens, parks, road projects, and citizen service, citizen and complaints office. These are the picture of the prototype. You can see, for example, the construction of the Tintal Avenue in Bosa, or the construction of the Caracolí and Illimani parks in Kennedy. How can citizens interact with this platform? So we have an idea of hanging signs in each infrastructure works itself, so that when the citizens passes by, they can see the sign and they can know that there is a platform or a place where then can find information, complete information, updated information about the infrastructure works in execution. So they can access immediately, they can find this information and generate alerts. These are the pictures of the working team who have worked very hard in this project. And finally, I don't want to end this presentation without saying you a final message. This platform is one step ahead, as it allows us to do two things through data: simplify information and increase trust. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much for our wonderful presentation from our City of Bogotá clients, City, and to our data scientist fellow, Xavier, for putting together this tool, as well as this presentation. Again, my name is Rose Gill Hearn, and I work at Bloomberg Associates. And just a little bit of information about what that is, because it's very relevant to who we are and what we've done here today. Bloomberg Associates is a pro bono city government consulting firm that was formed by Mike Bloomberg following his 12 years as mayor here in New York. So I and many of my colleagues at Bloomberg Associates now work giving consulting and guidance and advice to cities around the US and internationally, working in areas and on issues that we worked on when we were in New York City's government, bringing a lot of lessons learned, what worked, what didn't work during the Bloomberg administration to other cities, and picking up and learning so many wonderful, valuable things about how other cities work, and bringing those and populating those ideas as we go around the country and around the world, working with cities on a philanthropic basis. And this is my colleague, Giuliana Carducci, who is a manager at Bloomberg Associates on our team. And I also want to acknowledge my other colleague, Jamie Lavin, who is an additional manager at Bloomberg Associates and who works very hard on all of these projects as well. So thank you so much for having us, to Sean Edwards and to Vicky Cerullo. We're thrilled. And one of the things that we're doing this year, which is a little bit different, I've been working in the Immersion program at the very kind invitation of Nanette Smith, Sean, and Vicky for several years now. And quite frankly, we now have this wonderful body of work coming from this fantastic program. So for the rest of the year, I'm working directly with cities, in country, in cities, with the city teams on different projects. But here, we really get to take our cities and pull them into this immersion program and have something happen that's really, really wonderful. So we're doing a little bit of a retrospective, and I'm thrilled to be doing that. It makes me feel old, but that's okay. We've done projects with Mayor Eduardo Paez in Rio de Janeiro, with Mayor Enrique Peñalosa in Bogotá, with Mayor Anne Hidalgo in Paris, and Mayor Giuseppe Sala in Milano. And the thing that they have in common is that those are 4 Bloomberg Associate cities. And these projects that we worked on through the Immersion program were projects that the mayor's office wanted to have happen. And so it's been 4 years of collaborating. We've done 5 projects with 4 cities in 4 countries. And of extreme importance, with 3 different data science fellows. Xavier, we've done several projects with, but we've had the benefit of working with 3 different data scientists over the years. And the work is really now imprinted throughout the world that we've been able to do. So Giuliana is going to discuss in detail the other 4 projects. Both Tatiana, who is our representative from the government of Bogotá, and Xavier, who built this tool for us this year, did a fantastic job debuting it for the first time. And Giuliana is going to describe in brevity what we've done in past years. But let me sort of pull some common denominators together before Giuliana goes into the particulars. What do all 5 of these projects do? The first thing is they create citizen engagement with city government. They also opened up underutilized data. They facilitate accountability on the part of city government. And because, as I mentioned, each mayor wanted these projects to be done, that was something that was political will and embraced by the city government. Nobody is trying to hide anything. To the contrary, this is the kind of data that cities with responsible mayors should be putting out and are putting out and using. All of these projects decrease frustrations that people have with their city government. So they are, in fact, great customer service projects. Because we come from city government at Bloomberg Associates, they are also practical operational tools for city managers. They have all caused improved service delivery responses and response times for citizens. They each inform citizens about specifics of what their city government is doing and spending on their behalf. They all have the backing of the mayor and senior staff, and they are all carefully planned, and we pre-require access to all of the data that will be needed for the project, which is often from multiple agencies. And in almost every scenario, this is data that was siloed among different departments that all had to be pulled together for the first time as a result of the Immersion or D4GX project. And that's a lasting benefit to the city because the data gets used over and over again in different ways for different purposes. What I like about the Data for Good Exchange program is the fast turnaround time that it imposes. It is not the norm for cities to take fast action. And in the D4GX program, these digital tools get built and they are put to immediate use. The city does not have to do a hire. The city does not have to do a contract. And so this program spurs faster than usual results. The access to a data scientist, which is a hallmark of the D4GX program, is also a unique resource for a city to get. The D4GX program is a great combination of city experts who say, I have a problem, and a data scientist who can build a tool that helps craft a solution. So now I'm going to have Giuliana just very briefly talk about these other projects that come before this year's Bogotá project. Giuliana.
Thank you, Rose. All right, so hi everybody. We'll start with with our first project, which was with the city of Rio de Janeiro in 2016. So based on the work that we've done already with the city, we learned about their business licensing process, which was slow, paper-based, and prone to corruption. Causing mainly that a lot of the entrepreneurs were discouraged to apply to business licenses, and they were operating illegally without any certification. And also this caused the city to lose a lot of the possible tax revenue that they could get. So the solution for this problem was a two-phase. The first phase, we worked with the city of Rio to create a new digital business licensing process that substituted the previous one. This allowed for entrepreneurs to request and many times to obtain business licenses, everything online. When it was a simple business, they could get it in 1 or 2 days. The second phase was we worked with the Data for Good Exchange, which was the developing of a dashboard that permitted the visualization of the information that was coming from the business licenses. So it geocoded the licenses. I don't know if they're aligned this. Well, It geocoded the licenses in the map of the city. It showed the licenses by economic sector and by date. This was the data scientists that we work and our partner from city here, actually in the same room. In 2016, the portal is, the dashboard is available publicly online. And since then, thousands of licenses have been awarded, given through the portal. Our second project was with the City of Bogotá in 2017. We work with the Veeduría Distrital, which is Tatiana's office, to help them gather information, and analyze information that was coming from citizens. They were receiving all these inputs from citizens that were being lost in spreadsheets or databases that were not easily accessed. So what we did was we developed this dashboard, the citizen input dashboard, through Data for Good Exchange to aggregate the citizen inputs coming from different sources because they come in from the website, the call, or actual letters into one place and allowing the visualization of this information. So in the dashboard, you can see the inputs by type of input. So is it a complaint, a thank you note, a request? You can see it by topic, by city agency that is supposed to respond to the request. You can see also by location. This was launched in 2017. It's in 2018, sorry. It's also available publicly. And since then, the portal has had more than 11,000 registered views. An interesting thing is that the Veeduría Distrital has taken into the task of training people, 556, both citizens and public officials, to teach them about the portal, about the dashboard, and about how to use it. In the case of public officials, it helped them to make better decisions about where to focus resources and how to respond to citizens. Now, later, and very tangible application of the dashboard is currently done by the City of Bogotá by using the information that they get from citizens to identify and take action on specific problems. So they get complaints about these specific topics, so extended trash, potholes, fallen trees, noise pollution. They get in and they identify those problems specifically, and they have a task force. They send the people and solve the problems. So this came up afterwards as an application of the information of the dashboard.
So this is an example of it's not just data for data's sake. The City of Bogotá built this dashboard. They began to see trends. And so because we continue with our Bloomberg Associates work with cities, the next phase was, okay, now use the dashboard, use the data, and go where there are prevalent problems and trends that are being discussed by groups of citizens that you can now see clearly on your dashboard and go fix those things. And so the operational departments in these cities' governments have formed a task force. They're addressing noise complaints, stagnant trash complaints, potholes that have been there like craters for a long time. And so they're able to deploy resources in a targeted, fast way using the data from the dashboard, which was built in prototype here in this program. Mayor Anne Hidalgo is somebody who has set some wonderful goals for the city of Paris. She wanted a certain number of additional green hectares to be created in the city. She wants a certain level of recycling to take place, and other KPIs, key performance indicators that she set forth for her city. When we began to work with the city of Paris, we were told by officials there that the KPIs are measured once a year as an attachment to the budget. And so how can the mayor, how can other city officials who have their eye on the dashboard of the city understand what the performance has been, how are these goals being met, what are the results, what are the indicators, if it's attached to the budget once a year. And so we built them a modern KPI dashboard through, again, the Immersion program here. It was done in beta with 10 of the mayor's key priorities. And at this point, as with all of our 5 projects, the cities take over the beta or prototype version of the dashboard, a digital tool that is built here as a result of this program. It's taken over by the city, and it is expanded and embedded, and it's now a municipal tool in the city of Paris with over 30 KPIs. Quick point, 5 projects done through Data for Good Exchange. All 5 were taken over by the city and are part of the city government structure, and are being used by the planning department, the CTO's departments, different departments have these tools now as part of their ecosystem. 3 of the 5 tools are now public. So all 5 are being used internally as management tools. 3 of the 5, the mayor said, you know what, this is so fantastic. We want civil society to see it. We want the press to see it, people to see it. So several have been published, 3 have been published. And last fall, we were thrilled that Mayor Hidalgo published the KPI dashboard, which has its D4GX roots. And now there are over 30 KPIs that have been added to the original beta from this program last year.
All right, this last year project was with the CRM dashboard with the City of Milan. This project was so similar to the City of Bogotá. The City of Milan had thousands of inputs from citizens that they received from different sources that they were coming into databases that were disjointed. So they were not talking to each other, and they wanted to really take advantage of this communication and this input that they were receiving from citizens to improve the services that they provided. So what we did is we developed the CRM dashboard, which permitted the unification of the information into one database, and it provides visualization and analysis of this information, so they can see it. This is a highly complex, actually, dashboard. They can see by topic, the day, they can filter by source, etc. And so they've been using this to better understand what the citizens want to tell them.
I just want to give one example of the utility of this dashboard in the city of Milano. As a result of the data now being populated into this tool, they were able to see that in the month of June, there's a spike in calls from the public about a particular tax that has to be paid pertaining to sanitation pickup. And they were able to drill down on this large number of inputs, which they could now see as a result of the dashboard. And they realized that there's a lot of things wrong with the form, the tax form that everybody has to fill out. And so the finance department was able to actually make substantive use of the dashboard information, fix the form, and now we're going to be very excited to see whether or not there are fewer problems, calls, and inputs from folks in Milano as a result of the finance department fixing it, because the CRM department built this dashboard with Sean and Vicky's program.
One feature that is common in this dashboard and the citizen input dashboard is that one of the information that is available is the time that city agencies take to respond to citizens. So we have seen that the fact that this is a feature, one of the data points in the dashboard, has improved the response time. So city agencies are now aware that they are there one next to each other, and they actually have reduced the time that they take to respond to citizens. And then finally this year, which you already heard from Xavier and Tatiana, the Public Works Progress, again with Bogotá. I'm not going to repeat again, but I just want to say that this very particular, that this tool was requested by citizens. They were really, through the Veeduría Distrital, which is Tatiana's organization, they were asking for information from construction projects. There were a lot of complaints. And so this tool provides updated information in a simple way all together to citizens about what is being built by the city in their neighborhoods.
So again, I want to applaud Bogotá. I think that the tool that was rolled out today is very exciting, and I spoke with one of my former New York City Commissioner colleagues the other day about it, and the response was, wow, I wish that we had done that in New York, or we wish that we had that in New York. because we all drive by construction projects and say, why do I have to continue to divert here? How long is this going to take? How much money is it going to take? Or we get excited to see a new park being renovated or a new school being repaired. And so there are now 15 or 16 Bogotá, City of Bogotá infrastructure projects that can be tracked in real time by people, including when they drive by, they'll see the advertisement for this new website, this new tool that they can click on and get excited that there's a new kindergarten being built, or okay, you know, I'm hassled by the construction here, but I can see that the project is 3/4 of the way finished, and it's $200 million is represented in those 16 construction projects. So this is fantastic accountability for the city to put it out there, get excited for people to know what they're doing, and alleviate frustration for people who are living with these construction projects in their communities. So we applaud Mayor Peñalosa for that, and Tatiana and her team at the Vidor Distrital, which is the oversight agency that is the architect of this idea and this project. And in fact, you know, all 5 of these projects are collaborations between various arms of the Bloomberg universe, as I call it. To that end, the D4GX projects really are uniquely Bloomberg in their ability to bring together city experts with tech experts and apply our signature mission, which is taking data, in this case, unused data, underutilized data that's very valuable, and apply it to fixing problems or making innovations. And the simple mission for each of these engagements is to help people in cities around the world. And that's what these projects have done. So I certainly hope to be back in 2020 with another client city, jumper cabled into the great resources of this program. And again, I can't thank Sean enough and Vicki enough and their entire team for continuing to be so gracious and allow us to work in this program. And I've looked at the topics that the papers are about and the other projects are about, and we're just deeply humbled to be with everybody here. So thanks and congratulations to you as well.